Hello, sixth graders. It's Mrs. Ward. I'm going to read you chapter 18. So, Soledad had just gone in. Oh, Kara says hello. Soledad had just gone in and told the chef that she had eaten at his restaurant. So, chapter 18. Soledad bounded out the front door, her legs and arms churning. Now, pedal fast, she cried. Go, go fast. Ricky stood poised, leg over the seat. He braced the bicycle as she vaulted onto the crossbar, nearly knocking him over. Hurry, hurry, she stammered. Ricky pushed off and strained to get the overloaded, rusty bike up to speed. Soledad kicked her feet at the air and shook the handlebars to assist. Sit still, Ricky grunted, looking back. The chef lumbered out the front door, his big stomach swaying. He lunged into pursuit. Again, Soledad took to kicking and bouncing on the crossbar. The bike wobbled and weaved down the street. Ricky struggled to keep it upright. Sit still, he ordered. Soledad looked back and quit wiggling. He doesn't have his knife, her voice cracked with disappointment. And he isn't chasing us very fast. Ricky glanced over his shoulder. The big chef had slowed to a stumbling trot. His shouts echoed. Ricky relaxed. Do you want to go back and lend him a knife? He asked Soledad. She jabbed him with her elbow, causing him to swerve. Then she rode silently, as if pouting over the chef's half-hearted cooperation. Not until they had crossed town did she speak. She spoke quietly. It's time now for you to go to Rancho Camacho. Ricky only nodded. He knew it was time, and he felt guilty. What would happen to Soledad? The banditos will give you money and tell you what food to buy, Soledad said. You must do what they say. Ricky had no intention of doing as they said. He'd pretend to be the taco runner only until he made it past the guard. Today, the drug smugglers could starve. They would probably lose their appetite anyway after he escaped with the Skyhawk and the radar. Where should I leave you? He asked. I'll wait for you near town. Soledad's voice sounded sad and remote. I won't be coming back, Soledad. See, I think maybe they'll kill you. It's a mistake for you to be the taco runner. I have to do it, Ricky said resolutely. Again, they rode in silence. On the edge of town, Ricky stopped and let Soledad jump off. The last time when I walked to Rancho Camacho, he said. Another DEA agent was parked beside the road. I hope he isn't there today. Soledad squinted out toward the desert. I don't think it's a very good day to park beside the road. When she did not continue, he faced her. Thanks for all the help. He tried to sound casual. I'll wait here. Ricky fidgeted with the handlebars. Soledad, I said I'm not coming back. And I said I'll wait here. She stood resolutely. Why don't you come with me? I told you who would take care of my brothers and my sister. And Mama, I have to help her. Ricky nodded reluctantly. The dusty air was making his eyes water. It wasn't fair that Soledad had to take care of her family. Why should she be the responsible one? Couldn't her dad do something? Hurry, get going, Soledad said. Not thinking, Ricky turned and hugged her. I'll come back and visit you, I promise, he said, blinking. Soledad hugged him back. Her tight clutch felt desperate. Then she let go. She dropped down and sat cross-legged in the dirt. Without looking up, she said, Go, the banditos are hungry. Don't make them mad. Ricky mounted the bike and headed for Rancho Camacho. A big lump stuck in his throat. He tried not to look back, but topping the first hill, he did. Soledad sat beside the road like a small statue. Go home, Ricky whispered. That's where I'm headed. Soon the hill blocked her from sight. Ricky tried not to think of Soledad. Now he must think of what lay ahead. A fear of the big guard came back to him. In his mind, the machine gun thundered loud, and he could almost feel the gravel sting his legs. What if the guard recognized him? Ricky's legs trembled and grew weak. It felt as if he were riding uphill, even when he wasn't. A slight breeze brushed him from the left. He tried to make note of its direction. This would be important for taking off. Was it possible Mom was watching over him? Mama, are you there? He said aloud. At first, she did not come to his mind. I'm really scared, he said. What if I can't get the airplane started? What if the guard shoots me? Ricky paused. Mama, I feel wrong leaving Soledad all alone. Then why not forget about the airplane? He heard her say. Ricky shook his head vigorously. I'm not a quitter. I couldn't help Soledad anyway. I'm going after the airplane. Don't do it for me, she whispered with the breeze. But they killed you, don't you see? She did not answer. Mama, don't you see? Still silence. Ricky swallowed and kept riding. I'm not a quitter, he mumbled. Ahead, a different sedan sat parked beside the road. It looked like the one that he and Soledad had worked over the night before. Sure enough, the same bald agent slouched in the seat. Ricky smiled. He still had the guy's badge. Ricky rode past, afraid to glance over. Again, he heard a camera click. He kept riding. It no longer mattered what pictures anybody wanted to take. He'd soon be inside Rancho Camacho. The agent wouldn't follow him there. Ricky resisted the urge to turn and stick out his tongue, or to throw the badge in through the car window. Soledad would have done it in a blink. Ricky kept pedaling. The car did not follow. In minutes, Ricky steered the bike down the rutted clay road toward the ranch. His shoulders cramped from gripping the handlebars too tightly. The urge to turn back grew stronger. If his mom didn't care about the plane, maybe it wasn't that important. He heard voices in his head, voices that taunted, "You're a quitter. Go back where you belong. You can't steal that airplane." "I can too," Ricky muttered under his breath. He pedaled deliberately around the last bend. A different man was on guard. This one, a tawny Mexican, leaned against the gate. His pockmarked face and cold stare sent a shiver through Ricky. "Donde está Hernando?" the man called, mechanically holding up his hand. "He hurt his foot," Ricky answered in Spanish. "Today I'm the taco runner." He pulled to a stop. The man eyed him with suspicion. "Maybe you're lying to me." Ricky fought the urge to turn and pedal wildly away from the guard and his machine gun. He forced a smile. "Don't you want tacos today?" The man regarded him and then swung his machine gun around and pushed open the gate with the barrel. "The tacos aren't for me," he motioned Ricky past. Too scared to breathe, Ricky nodded and pedaled forward. Any moment he expected bullets to rip into his back. His chest started pounding for air. He gulped hard and rode fast down the long hill toward the compound. Sweat dripped from his forehead and stung his eyes. Beside the main compound, a huge white hacienda sprawled, surrounded by green lawn. The lawn looked out of a place on the dry desert. Red tiles blanketed the hacienda's roof. Bright pink trim outlined the doors and windows. On the porch, several men huddled intently. Closer to the big equipment shed and the runway sat a series of jackals, small mud wattle houses made of cottonwood logs, supporting mud and bare grass roofs. Salted meat hung in strips from many of the rafter ends. Beside these hung long strips or strings of red chili peppers. Short stacks of mesquite wood guarded the entrances. Two laughing Mexican cowboys were prancing their horses around a clearing. The vaqueros sat tall in their charro saddles, with saddle horns as big and round as coffee cans. Taking turns, they swung their retas, snaking the long horsehair lariats at a post 50 feet away. Ricky had heard how these vaqueros roped stray cattle to milk them. Maybe the people of Rancho Camacho weren't drug smugglers. But then why would they have so many airplanes? And why the rolled barbed wire fences and the guards? The vaqueros paid Ricky scant notice as he pedaled toward the equipment shed. Several pigs and goats wandered about. Ricky had to swerve to miss one old sow that grunted in front of the bicycle. Approaching from this direction, Ricky could not see the skyhawk. What if it was gone? He circled the building. Then he saw it, and his heart began skipping beats. The plane was backed just inside the big open panel doors. He drew in a deep, slow breath, trying to calm himself. Quietly, he whispered, "Okay, grab your socks. It's showtime." Oh my gosh, so Ricky is in the ranch. We will see what happens next.